This is the MacBook Air. No, this is not a new one. This is actually my mom's old 2015 13-inch MacBook Air. Now you might be asking, Isaac, why are you showing us a 6-year-old MacBook Air? Well, that's because I want to tell you a little story. My mom bought this computer several years ago to be her daily work computer, so she could do simple tasks like surfing the web, typing documents, and doing simple productivity work. I used to use this computer a lot back in the day, and I learned some things about it. It worked fine for simple productivity tasks. The screen was, well, not great to say the least, and it definitely really struggled if you tried to do any power-intensive work on it. That's okay though. This is a MacBook Air. It's not meant for pros. That's why there is the MacBook Pro. No hardcore photographer or video editor could use a MacBook Air, right? Well, things have changed. This is the M1 MacBook Air. I bought this a few days ago to replace my old 2012 MacBook Pro. What is so special about this MacBook Air is it has the Apple M1 chip. That means it has an 8-core CPU, 4 high-performance cores, and 4 efficiency cores, and mine has an 8-core GPU, and a 7-core GPU comes standard. The combination of this CPU and this GPU means that this MacBook Air can pull off blisteringly fast performance. If you would have told me just a year or two ago that I could get a MacBook Air that could outperform most high-end laptops for about half of the price, I would have said that you're crazy, but that's exactly what Apple did. Not only does this MacBook Air outperform this old MacBook Air, my old MacBook Pro, that 27-inch iMac sitting behind me, but even some 6-core 15-inch MacBook Pros from just a few years ago. In this thin and light Ultrabook, and this doesn't even have a fan, it's completely silent. If I do anything even remotely power intensive on my old MacBook Pro, the fans start blaring like they're about to explode. My M1 MacBook Pro is literally cooler to the touch editing 4K video than my old MacBook Pro was just running Google Chrome. No joke. Now you might be saying, what's the catch? Does all that performance and such a small form factor come at the expense of the battery life? Well, no, not even close. The M1 MacBook Air has a staggering 18 hours of video playback. This thing has a battery more like an iPad than like a laptop. Well, what about the display? Surely they had to compromise on that? Nope. Now yes, this only has 400 nits of peak brightness compared to the 500 on the MacBook Pro, but it still has the 2560 by 1600 13-inch Retina display and new for 2020, P3 wide color gamut, which means more accurate colors, which is great for me as a photographer. What about build quality? Well, in standard Apple fashion, the build quality is second to none. The all-aluminum body means that there's practically no flex or cheapness on this whole device. Now before you go off thinking, wow, this is the perfect computer, I'm gonna buy one right now. Well, slow down, there are still a few downsides. The main one is the port selection. This only has 2 Thunderbolt 3/USB 4 ports, which while are super fast, do mean you are gonna have to get used to the dongle life if you regularly use SD cards or USB drives like I do. Also, the bezels are a little big for 2021, the webcam is only 720p, and you're missing out on the touch bar, although in my opinion, you're not really missing out on much there. So to sum this up, what do I think of the MacBook Air? Well, right now you can pick up the MacBook Air for only $899 from Amazon, and for that price, I say you should go for it. This computer might not be for everybody, but I think for the majority of people who want a good, fast, and portable computer, the M1 MacBook Air is hard to beat. And for the first time, I can comfortably recommend that pros should consider the MacBook Air. Thanks for watching. I hope you loved hearing a little bit about my experience with the M1 MacBook Air. Please consider subscribing and checking me out on Instagram @IsaacMartin_photography, and I'll see you in the next one.